Waarom liggen onze winkels vol met producten made in China? En waarom gaan onze eigen bedrijven failliet?
Wij, levend in het hier en nu, kunnen slavernij alleen in de allerduidelijkste bewoordingen erkennen en veroordelen als misdaad tegen de menselijkheid. Als een misdadig systeem dat wereldwijd onnoemelijk veel mensen, onnoemelijk veel en groot leed heeft gebracht.
Aldus Mark Rutte een jaar geleden over het slavernijverleden.
We kunnen alleen met afschuw, berouw en schaamte naar het slavernijverleden kijken.
Het is opvallend dat ook mevrouw Ollongren over het westerse slavernijverleden spreekt, wat uiteraard ook ik veroordeel, maar dat het slavernij heden nooit ter sprake komt.
Hundreds of thousands of people from ethnic minorities, including the Uyghur community, are being forced by the Chinese authorities to pick cotton in the far western region of Xinjiang.
We were also sent to a forced labor camp without any trial, where we were forced to have slave labor for up to 17 hours each day.
We're turned back at checkpoints.
We'll pay.
Stopped from filming,
We'll pay.
questioned, and followed.
Further behind is also following us.
This is one site we're trying to get to, a giant re-education camp. But more recently, something else has been built next door, a textile factory. Days after its completion, a large group of people can be seen being moved between the camp and the factory.
Waarom is er zoveel te doen met het slavernijverleden van de blanke, westerse democratieën die de slavernij hebben afgeschaft, terwijl er nog steeds sprake is van slavernij in het communistische China?
And some, residents in Xinjiang are being rounded up and they're sent out to other provinces in China, spread across the country, and they're working in factories.
And it's in a small little patch of the Congo, southeastern corner, a part that used to be called Katanga. And before anybody knew what was happening, Chinese government, Chinese mining companies took control of almost all the big mines.
In a long, complicated supply chain, it might be second tier or third tier, there is Uyghur labor, and they might not know.
I was the first outsider to get into this mine. And that's why it's just a really short video that I was able to take. This is an industrial cobalt mine where there's not supposed to be one artisanal miner. Now that's the term used for people who are just digging by hand as opposed to tractors and excavators.
Waarom horen wij op het nieuws en in debatten nergens over hedendaagse slavernij door de Communistische Partij van China?
And then they said, companies can place orders on a minimum 100 people. And once you place an order, the workers can be delivered within 7 to 15 days. And if you think about that, that couldn't possibly be voluntary.
That's what the story is told at the top of the chain. According to the consumer-facing tech companies and EV companies buying this cobalt, there's more than 15,000 human beings crammed into that pit.
And if you think about that, that is the so-called re-education campaign in Xinjiang being spread out across the country and, having implications for global companies and consumers.
Waarom liggen onze winkels vol met producten made in China? En waarom gaan onze eigen bedrijven failliet?
Now, over the past few years, more than 1 million Uyghurs are thought to have been detained in so-called re-education camps. China denies claims of torture and carrying out forced sterilizations and abortions.
The guard, if you cannot produce the quota they assign to us, by the deadline you will be punished. Beatings, deprivation of food and sleep,